Hey everybody! Today we're going to talk about some simple ways to polish audio in Final Cut Pro. The first clip we're going to look at here has what's called peaking in the second half, which means that the volume of his voice is causing distortion. A simple way we can fix this is with keyframing, which means that we're going to map out the exact points the audio should get higher or lower. So if we hold down the Option key and click on this audio line here, it's going to create a keyframe. Option, click again, and now we've got two keyframes, which means that we can move each of these sections independently from each other, right? So we're going to make sure that we're selected on our second keyframe here, which will raise and lower this side, and actually do it much more accurately up in this box here. Up here we could actually also switch to the first keyframe if we wanted to, but we're going to stick to the second one. And we're just going to drag this slider ever so slightly down until we're only seeing a little bit of yellow over here. What we're aiming for here is the audio to be peaking between -6 and 0 dB. Any higher than that, and we're going to get that clipping. So now we can actually, since this audio is a little bit lower, we can bring it up and match to the levels that we just changed. So one keyframe back, and we'll just go ahead and bump it up a little bit until the highest peaks are just in that same range. So now let's give it a listen and see how it sounds.
In statistics, because when I teach,
So as we play this clip, you can see on the right-hand side there that all the audio is peaking between -6 and 0 dB, which is exactly that sweet spot we want to be in. So the second clip that we're looking at here has some really quiet audio. The mics were kind of far away. We need to kind of bring up her voice without bringing out any of the background noise that might come with it. So the first thing that we're going to do here is actually switch this to dual mono, because we had two different mics recording at the same time and one of them might sound better than the other one. When the setting is set to stereo, it's taking both channels and squishing them into one audio track. By switching to dual mono, we get two separate tracks, which gives us the control to change them individually or mute one altogether. So let's listen here. We'll turn off this one and see what it sounds like.
So I did my undergrad and master's in...
And this one.
Well, I did my undergrad and...
Okay, so the second one actually sounds a little more far away, has a little more echo to it. So I think we're going to stay with this mic right here. The next thing we want to do is come over to our Effects tab here and look for the Channel EQ filter, which we're going to drag right onto our clip. So now you can see we have this channel EQ effect over here, and we're going to click this little display button, and we'll turn on our analyzer. So now we're going to be able to see all the frequencies at play here while she speaks.
So I did my undergrad and master's in Korea, in South Korea, and...
The frequency of human voices tends to range from 85 Hertz to 255 Hertz. So we can see that she's peaking at around 200 Hertz. So that's the level that we're going to bring up first.
So I did my undergrad and master's in Korea, in South Korea.
As we add in these higher frequencies again, we're going to hear her voice become a little more full.
Exchange student program in the US too, like for 1 year. So I did my undergrad and master's in Korea, in South Korea, and although I did an exchange student program.
Another thing we can do is turn down some of the lower end frequencies that we don't need. So I'm going to turn on this range down at the end here at 20 Hertz, and I'm just going to slide it over to eliminate all of those lower end frequencies. Essentially what we're doing is creating a high pass filter, which means that we're only letting the higher frequencies through.
In the US too, like for 1 year. So I did my...
So you can see these frequencies are now way lower. We don't need them. We don't want them. So now that we've brought out all of the points of her voice that we want to hear, we can boost the gain a bit to get her voice peaking between -6 and 0 dB. Just a little bit.
In South Korea, and although I did an exchange student program in the US too, like for 1 year.
So those are two very basic ways that you can tweak your audio in Final Cut.